What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And today I want to talk a little bit about some of the reasons that you could be losing sales. Let's get into it. Alrighty, guys, once again, welcome back. My name is Scott King. I run a DJ company in Orlando, Florida, djsorlando.com if you want to check that out. Also have a coaching business, and I teach how I was able to build my business to over six-figure growth for a couple years, and it just keeps climbing. Can't wait to get the numbers in for this year to see how much I broke last year's records. And today I want to talk a little bit about some of the reasons that you could be losing sales. Because remember, a lot of this stuff comes from the messages that you send to the subconscious, and you could not even know that you're doing it. So I wrote up some notes here to go over some of the common things that could be triggering the other person that you're talking to and not even know that you're doing it. So some of the common mistakes are not being prompt with your responses. Now, me personally, I have a note document, and I have canned responses, we could call it in the industry, of this person asked a question and then I have a response. So I just go copy paste, and basically I built a machine more or less of how to get people on my track. So they're going to ask all these questions and come from all these different areas, and I have responses that are very informational, and depending on what questions that they ask, I just go copy paste and then reply with an email, because there's only so many questions someone's going to be able to ask you if they don't know, your world or your service or what you're offering. So keep that in mind. You want to make people get onto your track so that they're in your ballpark, so that you could get a common ground of conversation when it does come time for the sales call, right? And that's basically part of your pre-sale. And then of course we have the overwhelming. So when someone comes to you, they have an idea of what your service is. Now I have a DJ company, and you can imagine all the different things people think a DJ is, right? So when I talk to my leads, I definitely reassure them that, I'm a professional in the field, been doing it a very long time, and I say the right questions. I actually booked a corporate event because I asked the right questions, because I'm very knowledgeable about streaming, and these guys were international soccer team that was coming in, and then they started asking me all these questions about how would we run trivia to a bar that was overseas, and how would that work. And I was talking about streaming and OBS, and I asked the right questions to run a game show. I ended up getting the booking and never even had to do the game show because they decided that would have been too complicated, and the only reason I got the booking was because I asked the right questions for them to think about what steps needed to be taken in order to execute that trivia game that they wanted to run with their star soccer players. Or football, name of the team was Arsenal, and that was one of my prestigious clients that I was able to score because I asked the right questions, right? And then you don't want to overwhelm your leads. Basically, the way this works is that you would say something along the lines of, we do hundreds of events, and we've found this to be the best way. Of course, you could do add-ons. So basically, with your presentation, you want to make it as simplified as possible. And then if they want to do add-ons later, then you would do add-ons. Now, that all kind of depends on what service that you're offering or what works out best. Yet, you would just want to make sure that you made it as simple as possible and not to overwhelm your lead, because they have a certain idea of what your service is, and you wouldn't want to take them on a path that wouldn't be beneficial, and a confused mind never buys. So make things as streamlined as possible and answer all the questions that they have. And here's another big thing too. You don't want to make it all about you. Yes, you are the one providing the service. You want to make it about them and how they're going to benefit from the service that you provide. You want to find out what their main pain points are and take care of that for them. And then of course it goes into cost. Now, what you charge for your service basically is the market sets the price. So you could charge a different rate for what I charge here in Central Florida versus what people charge in other parts of the country. And you just want to keep that in mind. And also, you want to figure out where you want to land as far as cost goes. If you want to get more bookings, you would have a lower price versus having a higher price and get fewer bookings. How much is your time worth type thing? As long as you have an agreed price that you're willing to go out for, then just do the service that you agreed for the price that you agreed to do it. And it's all about framework. Like, how fast is your response time? And then of course your psychology of what you're telling the other person in front of you. If you talk like you don't know what you're doing, then they're going to be able to figure that out pretty quick. And at the same time, you can also tell them, if you're just getting started, hey, look, I'm just getting started. I understand how some of these things work out, and I'm willing to bring my price down a little bit just so I can get more experience. And again, simplicity wins. Just keep it easy for them, especially these corporate clients that are doing these big, massive events. They got a lot of things going on. They want to feel confident that you're the one's going to handle your part of whatever they got going on, so they can go handle other things. Like, I did this huge event for Gary Sinise Foundation, and they have tons of moving parts happening in all these different areas. And yet, because we did the event last year and we're successful with it, they were able to book us again. And the less headache they have to deal with, the more they're going to blueprint you into their system. And this is the second year we've had it. And it's a huge contract for us. And another thing to keep in mind when you're talking to somebody who doesn't know who you are and you're convincing them on your service, you can show your results, your Google reviews, client feedbacks, and you can show the type of equipment that you have and what's industry standard. Now, those are just a few things to keep in mind, and we wouldn't want you to lose sales. So do your homework before you have a sales call. And just remember, if you do lose bookings because you slipped up somewhere, it's okay. You're going to learn from that and get even better the next time. Even with my sales coaching online, people are asking for certain things. And, well, I have larger packages that are designed, and I could probably break those up and have smaller price points for people that are looking for smaller steps, we'll say, because I have big steps right now, and it's a lot to take in, right? So I wouldn't want to, follow the own advice, right? Don't overwhelm somebody. So basically, super simple and straight to the point. Which reminds me, I have a video that I made. It's not posted on the YouTube channel. It's actually a hidden video, and if you want that link, it's very beneficial. It's actually the blueprint of what I did to build my business, and it's a super simple process, and I called it the Simple Guide to Building your own service-based business. And if you want that, hit me up in the DMs or join the Facebook group, www.coachscottking.com. Also, make sure to follow, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the inside.